it'll be some good racing in round 4 of the Zamp Helmet Sports 1000 Championship. The final race of the day, 20 minutes, gets underway. And can Richard Morris beat Ryan Yarrow off the line? He got a bit sideways as he went up the gears. Morris on the inside. Look at Colin Chapman, who started well in 63, but he's there's contact there. So McGill there tagged number 8, and 8 is Joe Locke, and Victor Newman involved in that, and Locke stopped in the gravel. Marshall's already sprinting towards him. So a bit of an eventful start there. I think Richard Morris got the better of Ryan Yarrow. They're side by side as Yarrow tries to fight back. Mark Betts is Cole Austin in 44. He started last according to my grid sheet. So he's come from last to third in half a lap. So he was there. I wasn't sure if he was. So that's rather incredible stuff. And the Marshals are going to get Locke out the gravel.
They've done well to do that, that's for sure. Great job, guys.
And Morris has got the lead. Yarrow, though, trying to fight back. And Cole Austin has come absolutely alive this weekend. Unfortunately, he had the spin in the earlier race, but lap 1 seems to be his strong suit, 12th to 3rd. That's the ex-Matt Higginson Championship winning car. So it is a good car with pedigree, but Cole Austin hasn't been racing very long. Started last season, I think. There he is, 44, from 12th to 3rd in not even half a lap. Great opening section for him, but it's Morris and Yarrow up front, with then Austin there in 3rd place. 4th for James Walker. 5th was the quick starting Colin Chapman 2. Michael Root 6th, and some of the others further back got involved in the incident.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 phenomenal avoidances in the middle of all that. The blue Mattel I saw to make an evasive action. So wide out onto the Hanger Straight, some of these guys, aren't they? McGill at the back of that group trying to sort of tag along and get back in touch. Black car seems to be slowing towards the back of the pack.
Meanwhile, Michael Root's up the inside of Colin Chapman for 5th. That's the Mattel ahead of the Spire. So all 12 completed the first lap, despite that moment. Abbey. Joe Locke obviously a long way behind the rest. Jonathan McGill seemed to get away with it. I think he was the one that got into the side of Locke. So leaders out over the curves on the exit of club. Just 4 attempts between them. 1:10.6. Richard Morris slightly quicker than the chaser. Ryan Yarrow through Abbey Corner they go. So it'll be really interesting to see how these two compare, because they seem to have similar pace to one another in the earlier race, but were obviously never together as they start at the opposite end of the grid. But it is Morris ahead. Where can Ryan Yarrow find a way through? He's looking up the inside here. Not really an ideal place.
No, he wasn't close enough, was he?
Wonder if that losing momentum on the exit. Cole Austin still 3rd, ahead of James Walker and Michael Roots. Looks like Victor Newman's come through now. Looks like he's up to 5th. It's Roots, sorry, isn't it, in 5th. Victor Newman a bit further back in the second than Mattel. So Roots 5th, chasing James Walker.
Locke's pushing hard, having a lonely run, of course, having recovered from that gravelly moment.
Yeah, he's up on that pace with the 3rd place battle.
It's funny, isn't it? You sense that Yarrow is quicker of these two guys, but he's got to be very careful trying to make a move onto a quick part of the circuit, because if it doesn't come off, he'll just lose that ground and find it very difficult to turn himself back up onto Morris's tail.
Hasn't done so much racing, so I wonder if his racecraft is a little bit of work needed. Of course, Richard Morris comes from Formula Fords.
Racecraft is a byword, isn't it?
Absolutely. Did a lot of his racing, I think, at Castle Combe in that local championship. Seem to be a lot of the drivers here that have done so, and he's under a lot of pressure there from Ryan Yarrow, trying to chuck it up the inside, which was a bit of a surprise, but he didn't get it. There's Joe Locke, who had the spin on lap 1 right at the back, but it's this battle for the lead. Richard Morris knows that he needs to defend, hug the white line all the way down the Hanger Straight. He is not allowing Ryan Yarrow to come down the inside, is he?
No, but Yarrow's touched the dirt on the outside, kicked up some gravel, and he kept his foot in. He's taken that classic wide line through into the apex of Stowe, carried a lot of momentum through it, and is this time even closer to the tail of the number 2 car of Richard Morris than he was last time through.
So out of club they come, behind there's been a change for fourth because Michael Roots is now ahead of Colin Chapman, a bit battling further back. That's Phil Hutchins and Tom Johnston. With the leaders heading off down towards the village hairpin. We've seen Ryan Yarrow try to challenge in this sequence of corners before, but that would make you think that Richard Morris knows where the attack's going to come. Cole Austin still hanging on well there in third place, but Michael Roots keen to find a way through. He's done a bit of low-cost racing in the past. We've had a few years off. Now he's back with Scott Mattel's team in the Mattel MC53. What about the two Spires up front, right in the tow once more, is Ryan Yarrow. And again, Richard Morris knows where to place his car. And no way through, therefore. What about Roots, though? He has got into third. He's got ahead, therefore, of Cole Austin.
Yep, he's having a good run in the Mattel, is Michael Roots.
Best result at Snetterton was a fifth, so this is an improvement. And Colin Chapman now trying to go through. Oh, sorry, it's James Walker, isn't it? Yeah, James Walker trying to come through, I should say. And it's side by side for the lead as Yarrow tries to go around the outside. This race seems a bit more action-packed than the earlier one, but Morris just about hanging on, and behind Austin just about keeping Walker at bay. But now Walker under pressure from Jonathan McGill as they turned into Abbey. But here are the leaders, Marcus, down into the hairpin.
Yep, here they come again, and say that Morris under extreme pressure from Yarrow, and Yarrow, you've got to play it very carefully. He goes, looks up the inside, he gets a nose fin up alongside the tail cone of the leader, but that's cost him. That's cost him momentum. He had to jump on the brakes, locked a wheel momentarily, and that's lost him a couple of tenths. That's all it takes, but he won't be able to tow that back down the hanger straight.
He seems to think that he's stronger there, because he seems to challenge on every lap of the race into the link, but not yet worked out. But there's still a long way to go yet in this 20-minute race. So, yeah, chase again and have another go. Michael Roots in third. Can he do anything about them? He's only 3.5 seconds away. Hasn't had the pace off them yet this season, but he's putting away from Cole Austin.
Certainly be encouraged by this, won't he? McGill's having a good run. He's coming back up to towards Walker.
Yeah, Roots are not falling away too much from those in front, the two Spires.
And Newman's towed his way back up to Chapman. Has a look, kind of half-hearted look into Abbey. Wasn't close enough.
The French racer. There's his teammate, Roots. There's Austin still in fourth. This is by far the best we've seen from Cole Austin. He did get a sixth actually at Snetterton, but he's right in amongst them. Oh, spin here. That's Tom Johnston at Abbey. He's going to get back going though. It's 87. Tom Johnston spins out a 10th, trying to catch Phil Hutchins.
And Joe Locke is going to catch him, isn't he, at this point?
Joe Locke only 4 tenths away from the best lap of the race. Here comes Newman. He's past Chapman. He's going past Jonathan McGill now with 2. McGill tries to fight back on the outside. Oh, bit of a slide from Newman. They're side by side as they head off down towards the Vale. The inside line for McGill's going to work better, but then cutting underneath him is Newman. That was a great move,
That was
Marcus.
a superb move. One of the best moves of the afternoon. Just extraordinary. He just changed tack completely, dived across to the inside, got past McGill. And very impressive with Chapman watching on.
The top two have upped their pace. Now they're not battling. Ryan Yarrow, 1:10.03, fastest lap of the race, about a 10th quicker than the leader. So Victor Newman now 6th. He's 4 seconds away from the Austin and Walker battle. See if he can chase them. His best lap is quicker than all those ahead, apart from the top 2. Bit of a gap to work out on though. Here are the leaders. Morris and Yarrow. A bit further back, 3rd, number 5, that's Michael Roots. 4th is 44, Cole Austin. 5th, number 20, James Walker. Then 6th is 67, Victor Newman. Here are the 2 Spires up front. Number 2, Richard Morris. Turns into the left-hander at the Vale, then right, onto Club Corner. And that gap that he had got has come right down again.
Yeah, it seems to, almost at will, but there's never quite the opportunity to get past unless Ryan Yarrow has something up his sleeve. Time's ticking away.
1:09.86 for Ryan Yarrow. Not near the lap record, but it's the quickest we've seen today in this series, in this category. There's Newman. He's not really getting away from Jonathan McGill. Now he's ahead. Now, where's Ryan Yarrow going to have a look on Richard Morris for the lead? The link was the place we've seen in the past. There they are, just exiting that corner. Morris knows he needs to get against that white line.
That looks better for Yarrow. He's closer this time than he had been for a couple of laps. They're about half a length of the hanger straight ahead of the rest. Headed by Michael Roots in the number 5 Mitchell. Good run through Stowe for Yarrow. Morris defends over the curbs. Yarrow goes up the right-hand side of him. Now, can he tuck inside in this second element of the corner? He might try, but he's right under the tail now of the race leader. This is the closest he's been. As they come through at the end of the lap, the gap has come down. Has it? No, it's pretty much the same as it was. It's a few hundredths different.
So out of Abbey into Farm they go. These two are pulling away from Michael Roots. He hasn't quite got the pace of them, particularly when they aren't battling amongst themselves. Jonathan McGill's had a spin from that battle with Victor Newman for 6th and 7th. So that's promoted Colin Chapman. Now here's Yarrow again. He goes down the inside into the link, get the car all it just doesn't work, does it, into there? Got the car all sideways, trying to not hit Richard Morris. But he obviously feels that he's quicker into that corner, but just can't. It's not really an overtaking opportunity.
No.
Looks like we've lost Tom Johnston after his spin. He didn't continue, so we've lost him. We've still got the best part of half the race to go. So Richard Morris has drove a lot of this race in his mirrors, hasn't he, with that chase from Ryan Yarrow, but it's working so far for Morris.
He's made a couple of car lengths this time through, Richard Morris.
Yarrow certainly seems to be the quicker, but when he tries to pass, he just loses a bit, doesn't he? There's Roots in 3rd.
Yeah, all that effort, and it just really kind of undoes him on the exit of some of the corners.
Cole Austin still 4th, so he's holding on there ahead of James Walker. So great effort from 44, Cole Austin, just ahead there of Walker. And Victor Newman, he's going about a second a lap quicker than those two, so he's catching there in 6th position. There's Yarrow again, up over the curves on the inside of the link. And then again, in the tow, in the slipstream, down the hanger straight. About a third of the race to go, and it's number 2, Richard Morris in front.
You almost want to think he would sell a dummy at one point and wait for Morris to dip out to the left-hand side and then dive into the apex and leave him on the inside, which would compromise his exit to the corner, but it might spring a challenge. Now this is interesting. It's a cutback possibility now. Oh, it goes all sideways. He gets away from him. Yarrow spins, and he came so close. He's going to hang on, I think, to that second place, but it had to be worth a try. But it bit him.
Doesn't lose second though, so we're going to continue this run we had at Snetterton, where they both take a 1st and 2nd each by the looks of it. That's when fastest laps, though, I guess, is important for an extra point. And pole position, which I think has all been Ryan Yarrow today, but just couldn't get past Richard Morris. He's only a couple of seconds ahead of the Mattel there of Michael Roots. It just locks up a touch into the hairpin. Then Austin is 4th from Walker, and Newman still catching them at a rate of over a second a lap that time. So watch out for the second of the Mattels, Victor Newman chasing James Walker. Just at the background of your shot.
You get the impression if you get with them, there's a possibility that that Newman could nab a couple of places with another 6 or 7 minutes to go. He's got to keep his head down until he catches them.
There he is, just going out a shot.
He lost time at that first corner incident. He had to lift off to avoid the spinning Joe Locke.
Well, there was Joe Locke, I think, just passing Stephen Dean for 10th. So he's got back to the top 10 as Locke. Leader Richard Morris turns into Abbey. 12 laps done, 5.5 minutes to go. The gap is 7 seconds. There is Locke, now ahead of Stephen Dean. Behind the top 2, Michael Root still 3rd, Cole Austin 4th, 5th James Walker, now only 1.5 seconds ahead of Newman, so Victor Newman continues to catch. Driving standards flag going out to somebody. There's 21, that's Phil Hutchins, who's been caught by the recovering Jonathan McGill. We saw him spin at club as well earlier on. Looks like there's a couple of numbers on that board, doesn't there? So into Abbey they come, Phil Hutchins and Jonathan McGill. Now look at the back of this shot. That's it. Victor Newman is catching this battle for fourth between Cole Austin and James Walker. He's almost there now, and he'll have the final 5 minutes to have a go.
Yeah, he's close to being in the tow, isn't he, from Walker's car, the number 20 car ahead of him in 5th place.
There's his teammate, Michael Roots, who's third, looking for his first podium in the championship. There's Cole Austin, there's James Walker, and there's Victor Newman.
He came in really quickly, didn't he, Newman? You saw that in the back of the shot.
There he is, 67.
He's working quite hard. He's all gung-ho.
So into Abbey. He should be with James Walker at the end of this lap, you would think.
Yeah, it's a second between Walker and Newman now.
The last lap he only caught 3 tenths, so not quite the progress he made in previous laps. Through the link road they go between the two ends of the Grand Prix circuit. They rejoin just at the end of the Beckett Cesses onto the Hanger Straight.
You see how low the Mattel is against the two spires there. Tucked in behind Walker. Walker's a little closer to 44. Carl Austin, who runs in 4th place. And Newman is right there now, under the tail of James Walker in the 20 car.
There's the leader, Richard Morris. Looks like he's got the other side of John Cutmore's pit board by the looks of that going out. Leads Ryan Yarrow by 6.5 seconds. So Yarrow catching at a very small rate. Then Roots third in the battle for fourth. This is the interesting one. In final 3 or so laps to go. 44 Cole Austin, who's been the standout in the race compared to where you'd expect him, I think. So he must be gutted after that spin in race 1. Then you've got Walker and Newman, the chasers.
Yeah, 8 tenths between Austin and Walker, and half a second between Walker and Newman, who gets a little bit sideways on the apex of the turn onto the straight as Newman, but he's back on the throttle.
In the toe now, James Walker. We can see a move here at Stowe. He pops out the toe onto the inside line for Stowe corner, and
he's made it.
Yeah, the inside he goes through. Can Walker fight back on the outside line? I think you just run out of road trying to do that, don't you? So that's one of the 2 places gained for Newman. He's back to 5th. Can he get to 4th? Cole Austin with 2 further laps. I think it'll be a 17-lap race.
Change of colour in Carl Austin's mirror, because it's now the 67 car of Victor Newman.
Jonathan McGill, the driver, getting a penalty, a 5 seconds penalty. He has fallen behind Joe Locke though, so I think McGill must have had another spin. Yeah, slow last lap, 1 minute 26. So Locke is now 9th. There's the leader, Richard Morris. Being caught slowly by Ryan Yarrow, but no need for Richard Morris to drive at the limit anymore without any challenge. Here's that battle for third. For fourth, sorry. Austin and Newman behind Michael Roots, who is third. And down the Hanger Straight they go. There they are. And is he going to do a replica of the move he did on Walker? He's in the toe. He pops out of the toe. He's on the inside line for Stowe. He brakes later, and it's exactly what he did on the previous lap. But this time for fourth, this time passing Cole Austin.
Interesting.
3 seconds behind his teammate with 1 lap to go. Don't think there's any team orders at Mattel, so I suspect that to be as far as he gets. So a good recovery. Pretty much last after the first corner. Gap up front 7 seconds now, because Richard Morris, I said he backing off when he just did the fastest lap of the race. He needed that extra point. 1 minute 09.64, 2 tenths quicker than Yarrow did earlier. So there's Richard Morris with a bit of traffic. He'll have to pass Stephen Dean, but looks to be on for maximum points in this race. Getting the fastest lap right near the end. And here he will want to safely get past Stephen Dean, and does so. Turns his way through the right-hander at Stowe corner. And again, it'll be almost exactly a 20-minute race over 17 laps of the Silverstone International Circuit. He turns left then into the Vale, then turns right out of it and onto Club Corner. Number 2, it's his second win of the season in the Zamp helmet. Sports 1000 Championship, a win then for Richard Morris. He beats the similar car of Ryan Yarrow, who comes home second. Then it'll be the two Mattels. Third will be Michael Roots, and here in fourth position is Victor Newman. There's Roots in third, his first podium in the series. Then fourth for Newman, fifth for Austin, sixth for Walker, and then behind Colin Chapman, Phil Hutchins, Joe Locke and Jonathan McGill. So that concludes today's action. So before you head off, we'll hear from the winners, and we shall remind you there are 9 further races to come tomorrow. We'll show you what they are, but F1000 stays and we are joined by 4 new categories. But Marcus, before we hear from our winners, a bit of reflection on the day's action.
There really has been some great racing, hasn't there? All the way through the day. These guys have put on a great show. I thought the Master 7s were fantastic in the last race because there were so many of them. Okay, there were 2 kind of above the rest, but the next sort of 6 or 7 were fighting tooth and nail for everything. We saw some very quick action in the Formula 1000s as well earlier on. We'll see them twice tomorrow, which is quite exciting. We may well have different conditions then.
Yes, there's a bit of a question mark over tomorrow's forecast.
Indeed.
Which spice things up. The 750 Motor Club's last meeting, which was at Brands Hatch last Saturday, was wet pretty much all day. There were cars dropping oil. It was ever so slippery.
A lovely cocktail on the on the track.
Absolutely. We had a low cost lapping in 80-second laps around Brands Hatch. It was so slippery. But we didn't really have too many significant incidents. Everybody drove fairly well in what were horrendous conditions, really. But that was last week. This is this week. This is Silverstone. And we've had at least one day of dry running. We shall see what tomorrow brings. But we got through today pretty well. Finished a few minutes early, so good stuff from all the marshals. Don't think the marshals can hear us. We're not on the PA this weekend, but big thanks to all of you for supporting the 750 Motor Club, and good work down in race control as well to keep everything running smoothly. But we're ready down in the pit lane. For the final time today, we can hear from Matt Suckling.
So our final winner of the day here at Silverstone is that of Richard Morris. Richard, that was a fantastic race to watch. You had your work cut out there for most of it, trying to keep Ryan at bay.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a tricky race, and, hats off to Ryan. He had lots of pace and really, really made it hard for me. I got a great start, which, people have watched some of these races. Maybe sometimes I haven't, so that was good. And I just really got the elbows out and fought hard, really, and it was just hard, clean racing. I mean, I said before the race, one mistake is going to decide this because our 2 cars are so evenly matched. Both great Spire cars and both flying around here. So I just had to keep consistent, keep my head cool, and pull it together.
He was trying at every corner. He was trying to push you down the hanger straight. You were hugging the inside line, so he really did make you work. But it was a fantastic race to watch. What was it like to be part of?
Yeah, it was so intense. I mean, every corner I didn't have to defend. I was trying to maximise so that I could try and get away. And when I was defending, I was trying to lose as little time as possible. He did actually get in front very briefly on one lap, and I was able to nip straight back through. And there was no chance of pulling away with the slipstream effect here. So I just had to really fight for it.
And it's 1 each today, which is handy, so you both take away a win.
Yeah, I mean, after how today started with having to start from the back in race 1 and everything, I think we've really minimised the damage in the championship. So, yeah, it's great work, and obviously thanks to the team for keeping working, keeping behind me and keeping believing.
Great job. Well done, Richard.
Cheers.
There we go. Richard Morris, our winner there. Let's try and grab a quick word with Ryan, who finished in second place. Ryan, well done on second place. It was a win earlier on today, but a slight mistake just put you out the battle.
Yeah, I mean, I was having to try absolutely everything because he was driving a very wide car, which I would do as well. He drove fantastically. And everywhere that I was faster, which is basically all the fast corners, he was right on the apex anyway, so I couldn't do anything. So I thought I need to try and get on the power early, and it just spun round on me. There's nothing I could do about it.
And at that point it was kind of gone. Richard was probably 5-6 seconds up the road to try and catch him.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was like a couple, I probably could have, because we were playing cat and mouse and I was catching him back up anyway, but like 7 seconds, it's not going to happen. but I've had worse days.
It's not bad, is it? First and second you take away from today.
Yeah, and the pole as well, so it's an extra point. I don't know what the times were like then, but it felt quick. It's just difficult. If I got away first and got a couple of clear laps in, would have been different, but I didn't, and he drove really well and he deserved it.
A good result anyway. Well done, Ryan.
Cheers, thank you.
There we go, Ryan for second place. Let's grab a quick go over our third place man in that race, which was Michael Roots. So we can just grab Michael. Can you come and join us for a quick chat on our live stream? That's fantastic. Your first podium of the year. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. Thanks to Mattel Cars, produced a great car. I'm just getting used to it. So yeah, hopefully I'll find a bit more speed and start doing this a few more times.
Yeah, the top two were away in that one, but as you said, you learn your trade, you get your race laps in, and you can be with them before too much longer.
They're in a league of their own. I think, well, definitely not in my league at the moment. So I need to find a bit, and but yeah, hopefully my learning curve will, hopefully be sharper than theirs. They've been having them obviously been in it a few years. So yeah, hopefully a little bit better for the next two meetings.
Yeah, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. Well done, Michael. Congratulations on your third place. Second place for Ryan Yarrow, and of course our first place there was Richard Morris. So really good racing today here at Silverstone. That's it from me down in the pit lane, and we'll hand back upstairs to Josh Barrett.